Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we are playing Umi Control. Umi Control is a very small deck, not even really a deck, kind of just a series of cards they printed for Mako Tsunami, which reference all of his cards from the original Duelist Kingdom and the Battle City arc, which is perfectly fine. Cards are fun, they are effective, and they create an actual literal floodgate, which makes it very difficult for your opponent to play the game. I really enjoy this deck. I think this deck is effective at shutting down your opponent. It's a little inconsistent. I don't think that it will be any sort of meta contender, but, you know, for fans of the anime, it's cool to cover these kinds of decks and just let you guys see them in action. So, let's get started. For hand traps, we are playing none, because we don't need to. Staples, we have one copy of Triple Tactics Talent. If your opponent has activated a monster effect, Pot of Greed, Forbidden Sentry, or Change of Heart, which is pretty good. And then Call by the Grave, to make sure we don't get hand trap. Yeah. Then for the main deck Umi engine, we have 3 copies of Doom Kraken. This is probably the worst card in the deck. I really like this card. I think that it's very useful to use as dodging removal, but a lot of other people who play this deck don't seem to like it very much. Doom Kraken, level 4, Water Aqua Monster, 1400 attack, 1600 defense. If Umi is on the field, as a quick effect, you can target 1 water monster you control, except Doom Kraken, and 1 monster your opponent controls. Special summon this card from your hand. If you do, return the monster you control to the hand, and if you do that, destroy the opponent's monster. So you bounce one of your monsters back to your hand, and then you get to pop one of your opponent's monsters for free, which is pretty nice. Then when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can return a card to your hand, and if you do, negate the attack. You can only use each effect once per turn. Pretty good card. Next up, we have Electric Jellyfish, level 4, 1400 attack, 1700 defense, Aqua Monster. You can send 1 Umi from your hand, deck, or field to the graveyard, special summon 1 water monster from your hand. Very nice. Easy way for us to get out our Kyriushin. When your opponent activates a monster effect or a spell card or spell effect while Umi is on the field, as a quick effect you can negate that effect, then you can make this card gain 600 attack and defense points. You can only use each effect once per turn. That's pretty good. Since it causes Electric Jellyfish to increase its attack points, it is something you can do during the damage step, and it's a very nice effect. It doesn't negate activation, which means that if your opponent can only activate a card once per turn, they will have been considered to have activated the card, so that's pretty good. It doesn't destroy the card, but otherwise it's perfectly fine and serviceable. It's also only neutral rarity, which means that it's very cheap. Ocean Dragon Lord Kyriushin. This is a level 5 Water Sea Serpent monster with 2000 attack points and 1700 defense points. While Umi is on the field, each player can only control 1 face-up non-water monster. If a player controls 2 or more, they must send some to the graveyard, so they only control 1. This is a state-based effect. It is not activated. That means that if you already have Umi on your field, and you normal summon Ocean Dragon Lord Kyriushin, before your opponent gets priority, even to Kyriushin's, well, they can negate the summon. If they have, like, Solemn Judgment, they're allowed to Solemn Judgment. But as long as Kyriushin summon is not negated, then before your opponent can do anything, including Imperm, they must immediately send monsters to the graveyard until they have 1 non-water monster remaining. Period. Doesn't matter if they have 5 negates. Doesn't matter if they can pop your Ocean Dragon Lord Kyriushin. This effect is not activated, therefore it does not need to resolve. It literally says, I am on the field. Umi is on the field. Before you can do anything, your board must reflect the state of the battlefield. This is a reference to how when Mako summoned Kyriushin, the field just flooded, and Yugi was only left with enough space to summon his giant soldier of stone in defense position. Really cool. During your main phase, you can add from your deck to your hand 1 Umi, 1 Kyriushin spell or trap, or 1 Sea Stealth spell or trap. You can only use this effect once per turn. The Kyriushin spells and traps are kind of interesting, but they're all kind of situational. So I'm not a big fan of any of them, but the Sea Stealth cards are really good. And then, of course, drawing Umi is also really, really good. In conglomeration with this, we have Fish Sonar. Add 1 level 7 or lower monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Umi or is a water normal monster. Then if Umi is on your field, you can special summon 1 water normal monster from your deck. This does let you special summon a Frostosaurus from your deck, which is interesting. You could potentially play this in like a dinosaur, like a water dinosaur transcend slash Mako deck, where you wanted to combine like Rex Raptor and Mako Tsunami. Summon the Transcendosaurus, Glaciosaurus, and then Kairyu-Shin. Could be pretty cool. We're not doing that though. Then, of course, we have 3 copies of a Legendary Ocean. This card is always treated as Yumi. All water monsters on the field gain 200 attack and defense points. Reduce the level of all water monsters in both players' hand and on the field by 1. That means that if you have a Legendary Ocean, you can normal summon Kairyu-Shin without tributing because it's level 4 at that point. Really useful. Sea Stealth 2. This is a Sea Stealth card, which means it can be searched by Kairyu-Shin. Continuous spell. This card's name becomes Yumi while it is on the field or in the graveyard. Your opponent cannot target water monsters you control with non-water monster effects. That's disgusting. Also reminiscent of Mako's playstyle. He could hide monsters in the water and then they couldn't be targeted. At the start of the battle phase, you can special summon from your hand or graveyard 1 monster that mentions Yumi or 1 water normal monster in defense position, but destroy it at the end of the battle phase. You can only use this effect once per turn. Alright, so Sea Stealth 2 brings back your Kairyu-Shin during the battle phase, which means that if your opponent has more than 1 non-water monster on the field, they have to immediately send them all to the graveyard. Very, very nice. And then lastly, Sea Stealth Attack. Continuous Trap card. It literally has a Legendary Fisherman and Panther Warrior on it. It is just straight from Joey vs. Merrick in the anime. When this card is activated, you can activate 1 Yumi from your hand or your graveyard. So you remember how the electric jellyfish mills a Yumi to summon Kairyu-Shin? That's what this is what this is for. Summon your electric jellyfish, activate its effect, mill Yumi from your deck, add special summon Kairyu-Shin from your hand, Kairyu-Shin, add Sea Stealth Attack, next turn, Sea Stealth Attack, activate Yumi from the graveyard. Now you have the floodgate. While Yumi is on the field, this card gains these effects. Once per turn, you can banish a water monster you control until the end phase. This turn, face-up spell traps you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, even if this card leaves the field. And at the start of the damage step, if your water monster whose original level is 5 or higher battles an opponent's monster, destroy that monster. Mandatory, not once per turn. Very, very good effect. Cool card. That is it for the Mako cards. Now let's talk about kind of the generic water support. So we have Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier, which we are playing at 1. It's a level 2 Aqua Tuner. You contribute 1 other effect monster, special summon up to 3 Ice Barrier tokens, which are level 1 Water Aqua monsters. If you do, increase that card's level by that number. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Water Synchro monsters. So you can summon 3 tokens, and then if you do that, then Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier becomes level 5, which means you can potentially summon a level 8 Synchro monster. Pretty useful effect. Of course, if you have a Legendary Ocean out, then instead she loses a level, so you can only summon level 7s, which would be pretty awkward. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 of your Ice Barrier cards that is banished from your deck to your hand, and except Mirror Mage of the Ice Barrier. So the reason we play this card, we discard it for Horus, and then we get to add our Ice Barrier Trap card, which we then also discard for Horus, and then we get the ability to special summon, or add our Kairyu-Shin so we can special summon it. Really good, really good. Next up, we have Ice Jade Tremora, a level 5 Water Aqua monster. You can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, special summon 1 water monster from your hand, so this is an easy way to get Kairyu-Shin on the board. If a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, special summon 1 of your Ice Jade monsters from your hand or graveyard, except Ice Jade Tremora, which will allow you to get back your Randrin. Or Ram, whatever her name is. Ran Adrian. Ice Jade Ran Adrian, level 7, 1500 attack, 2500 defense. You can discard 1 other Ice Jade card or 1 water monster to special summon this card from your hand. Then you can special summon an Ice Jade token, which is level 3. While that token is in the monster zone, the player who summoned it cannot special summon from the extra deck except water monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn. Alright, so Ran Adrian plus the level 3 token that she summons immediately gives you access to the boss monster for Ice Jades, which is Ice Jade Gimir Adrian, which is a level 10, 3000 attack, 1500 defense, requires 1 water tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners. As a quick effect, you can activate this effect. Face-up monsters you control cannot be destroyed or banished by your opponent's card effects this turn. Then if you activated this effect in response to your opponent's card, and your opponent has a card with that name on the field or in the graveyard, you can banish those cards. And literally just your opponent activates a card, you can respond to this by saying, okay, my monsters can't be destroyed or banished for the rest of the turn. Also, banish this card, even if it's a monster. Really good. If the card is banished by your opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. Pretty nice. If your opponent, like, called by the graves one of your monsters, you can just be like, okay, well, here's my Adrian back. Useful. You can also use the combo to summon Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Changing, which is a 3,000 attack, 3,000 defense Wyrm monster that says for each card banished, this card gains 100 attack and defense, and opponent's monsters lose 100 attack and defense. If this card will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish one card from the graveyard instead, and if a card is banished, you can banish one card from your opponent's field and from your opponent's graveyard. So Changing is really good. Just a really solid card that you can use with all your banish effects. You just kind of have to choose based on the matchup whether it's good to get the Gamer Adrian or the Changing. You can only summon one or the other. Then lastly, for synchros, we have Adamantipated Risen Dragite, which is a level 8, so it can be summoned with the Mirror Ice Jade card, or it can be summoned with the Ice Jade Ram and the token if you have Legendary Ocean already in play, because both their levels are reduced by 1, which means they go from level 10 to level 8. Dragite is a rock synchro monster with 3,000 attack and 2,200 defense. During your main phase, you can excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can return cards your opponent controls to the hand up to the number of excavated rock monsters. Are we playing Nibiru in this deck? We are not. So this, you do not do this. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card or effect while a water monster is in your graveyard, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So just a spell or trap negate. Pretty nice. Alright. Then, in addition to those cards, we have Ice Barrier, which is a normal trap card. And if an attack is declared involving your opponent's monster, change that monster's attack position to 0, negate its effects, also it cannot change its battle position. All of those are permanent. You can banish this card from your graveyard, send one level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to the graveyard, then you could add one water monster from your graveyard to your hand. Also, until the end of your next turn after this effect resolves, you cannot special summon except water monsters. So that means that this is one of the most extreme locks in the game. After you have used Ice Barrier's effect, you are locked out of summoning anything other than water for the rest of your turn, your opponent's turn, and then the next turn. So this is a 3-turn lock if you do this on your turn. Crazy. Alright. Anyway, yeah, this just lets you draw your Ocean Dragon Lord Kyrie's Shin, which is really important for the deck. Then we have the Horus cards. Imseti discards itself to draw the King Sark. Duamatef and Happy also can special summon themselves from the graveyard. All 3 monsters can special summon themselves from the graveyard while you control King Sark. King Sark says, Horus monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects that do not target them. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard to send a Horus monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only use this effect up to 4 times per turn. And once per turn at the start of the damage step, if your Horus monster battles an opponent's monster, you can send that opponent's monster to the graveyard without targeting it. So King Sark's really good. Really, really good card. And we have 3 copies of it, so yeah. Other than that, we have a small Egyptian God package. The True Sun God, when this card is activated, add Ra or a card that mentions it from your deck to your hand. Monsters except Ra cannot attack the turn they are summoned. A really useful effect for locking your opponent down. It can be searched with Guardian Slime. Guardian Slime, level 10 Water Aqua monster. If you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. During damage calculation, if a card battles an opponent's monster, you can make this card gain defense equal to that monster's attack for the damage calculation only. If this card is sent to from the hand or the field to the graveyard, you can add one spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically risks Ra. So this card draws your Sun God. Really nice since it has the ability to gain defense points. That means that as long as it's in defense position, your opponent can't beat it in battle unless they can negate its effect. Then we also have the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere mode. Tribute 3 monsters your opponent controls to tribute summon this card, and then you can't attack it. But regardless, it's fine. You can mill it with Dingirsu. And as part of that package, we have Egyptian God Slime, which is a level 10 Water Aqua Fusion monster. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by tributing a level 10 Aqua monster with 0 attack points. Note that a Legendary Ocean turns this off for your Egyptian God Slime. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Your opponent's monsters cannot target any cards for attacks, and cannot target any cards with effects, any monsters you control except Egyptian God Slime. So it just absorbs everything. That's the God package and the Horus package. Now for the generic cards. Duster, destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls. Pot of Desires, banish 10 from the top of your deck face down, draw 2. Burial Goods, send a spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard, which we will use to mill our Ice Barriers so we can banish it to draw our Ocean Dragonlord. Pot of Extravagance, at the start of your main phase 1, banish 3 or 6 cards face down from your extra deck. Draw 1 card for every 3 cards banished, and after this turn resolves, you cannot draw by card effects. So we just mill 6 and we draw 2, and we deal with whatever is missing. It's not going to affect us that much. That is everything in the main deck. Extra deck that we didn't talk about. Coach King Giant Trainer, 3 level 8s. You can detach a material from this card, draw a card, and reveal it. And then if it was a monster, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. So, Giant Trainer lets you use all 3 of your Horus monsters to draw 3 cards, and then burn your opponent for up to 2400, which is really, really good. Number 68, Santaphon, the Sky Prison, 2 level 8s, gains 100 attack and defense for each monster in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card until the end of your opponent's next turn. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, neither player can special summon from the graveyard. A lingering Necro Valley effect is really, really strong. This card can just win the game against certain decks. It's kind of a hard card to read because it's only really good if you go first, but you're not necessarily going to know what deck your opponent's playing. Depending on the meta, you might be able to make an educated guess, and it's really good against some decks. Number 90, Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. This is just a generic negate. When your opponent's monster activates an effect, you can attach 1 material from this card and negate that monster's effect. It does not destroy, and it has 3,000 defense points. So, solid card for just a generic break negate. Dingirsu, this card will protect 2 of your cards from being destroyed. Then it can also send an opponent's monster to the graveyard when it's summoned, or any card that your opponent controls to the graveyard. The Zombie Vampire, 2 level 8s. Neither player can target this card with the effects of special summon monsters except for those special summoned from the graveyard. You can detach 1 material from this card. Each player mills 4. And if any monsters were milled by this effect, you can special summon 1 of those monsters to your field. So the Zombie Vampire just lets you mill 4 and get a card back, which is going to be, typically speaking, one of your engine cards. So it just kind of increases your consistency, same as Giant Trainer. Garunix, Eternity, Hyang of the Fire Kings, 2 level 8s. If this card is Exceed Summon, you can destroy all of their cards on the field. You can detach 1 material from this card, destroy 1 spell or trap on the field, and if you do, this card gains 500 attack points. If this card is destroyed while it has a material, you can special summon Fire King monsters from your graveyard up to the number of materials this card had. And that includes itself. So if your opponent destroys this card and it has at least 1 material, it will just revive itself, which is pretty nice. Very Phoenix-like. Typhon. Typhon is just like a card that everyone plays at this point. If your opponent hand traps you, then you can summon Typhon and bounce 1 of their cards, and that's good enough. Coral Anemone, 2 water monsters. You can target a water monster with 15 or less attack in your graveyard. Special summon it to your zone this card points to. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except water monsters. This does let you revive your Horus monster. It also lets you revive your Egyptian God Slime. It can bring back your your electric jellyfish. So yeah, just a good card overall. Area, the Water Charmer Gentle. You can target 1 water monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon it to your zone this card points to. If this link summon card is destroyed by battle or destroyed by an opponent's card effect while it's in the monster zone, you can have 1 water monster with 15 or less defense from your deck to your hand. Area is not particularly amazing. There's not a water monster that really you're going to see for hand traps except Perulia. You can use this card on Perulia. I think that you would probably end up losing the game against Perulia, to be honest, unless you just skipped your turn. But Area, more importantly than its ability to revive Perulia from your opponent's graveyard, Area is there to give you a very easy generic link material card so that you can link into something if you have to get cards off your field for some reason. There are plenty of situations where your opponent has done something to your board, and the cards on your board now represent a threat, and this card lets you just say, okay, I'm going to get these cards off my board. SP Little Knights, this card's link summon using a Fusion Synchro Exceeds or Link monster. You can target 1 card on the field or in either graveyard and banish it. Also, you cannot attack direct this turn. And when your opponent activates a card effect as a quick effect, you can target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including a monster you control, and banish them both until the end phase. Good card. Then lastly, World Sea Dragon Zealantis. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. During your main phase, you can banish all cards on the field, then special summon as many monsters that were banished by this effect to their owner's field, face-up or in face-down defense position. And during the battle phase, as a quick effect, you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of co-link monsters on the field. This effect does allow you to reuse once per turn effects. But the primary benefit of it is that if you use this effect on your opponent's monsters, and your opponent's monsters were not properly summoned, like for example, if they were summoned through a cheating effect, such as Neos Fusion, well, then you can't special summon them from the Banish Zone, just like they couldn't special summon them from the Graveyard. So this card literally lets you just say, you didn't summon it properly, that's not my fault, now it stays banished. Pretty good card. That's the deck. Let's take a look at the replay. Alright, we are going first. So we have Electric Jellyfish, Guardian Slime, Fish Sonar, and 2 copies of King Sark in our hand. Pretty standard turn. We would just activate Fish Sonar, add the Kairyu-Shin to our hand, normal summon Electric Jellyfish, mill Legendary Ocean, special summon the Kairyu-Shin from our hand, Kairyu-Shin, set the Sea Stealth attack, pass turn. Pretty good. Let's see what happens. Fish Sonar, and we immediately get Ash. Okay. Now we need to do something different. So we're going to activate King Sark, use King Sark's effect, pitch the Guardian Slime from our hand, mill him Seti. Guardian Slime's effect, we add True Sun God. We activate True Sun God, add another Guardian Slime, which we will then pitch with the King Sark. Mill the Duamtef. Now we'll use King Sark again, pitch the last King Sark, mill the Happy, and then we bring back all 3 monsters. We use all 3 monsters as material to Xyz summon our Coach King Giant Trainer. Our opponent has decided that we can't search, so we're going to draw instead. Draw 1, Jellyfish, that's a brick. Hit for 800. Draw 2, Foolish Burial Goods, that's our out. Draw 3, Ice Jade Tremora, that's actually useful, so another 800. Normal summon, then we activate Foolish Burial Goods, we mill the Ice Barrier banish itself, mill the Ocean Dragon Lord and add it back to our hand. Electric Jellyfish, mill Yumi, special summon the Dragon Lord, Tremora, special summon the Electric Jellyfish, add the Sea Stealth attack, set 1, pass. Now we activate the trap card for Sea Stealth attack, we bring back the Yumi. Now we have a spell or monster negates, and then we also have Ocean Dragon Lord to prevent our opponent from summoning more than just one non-water monster. Our opponent is going to start their turn, they activate Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon's effect, special summon itself. Then they pop our Giant Trainer, which we don't care about. Activate Trade-In, we will negate that with Jellyfish, make our opponent go -2, pretty good. They set 2, and they can't attack because they already used the effect. It's our turn. We'll activate Pot of Desires. Draw 2. Activate Fish Sonar. Draw the Doom Kraken. Activate Call by the Grave. Banish the Blue Eyes from the graveyard. Doom Kraken. Bounce the Jellyfish. Special summon itself. Pop the alternative. We draw the Sea Stealth attack with the Kairyu-Shin. Revive our water monster from the graveyard. And then we're just going to attack directly. Now, because of the True Sun God, we can't get lethal, but that's okay. We attack with all of our monsters that were already on the field, or that were normal summon, past our turn. And our opponent concedes. There you go. So that's how you use your floodgates. That's how you can get around your opponent hand trapping you. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.